Post-market analysis, May 12th, 2022. So today was a good trading day for me. I got in right at this level here at approximately 11 a.m. Let me move this over here. Locked in a 1 to 3 risk to reward. Price came back. I was already out of the trade by that time, and that's it. Closed out, done for the day. And then price even continued to drop down even further. So, what does that mean in relation to where we are now? Well, first of all, I'm going to adjust my fibs. This fib here was invalidated because it dropped down to here, came back up, touched the 38.2 perfectly, and that was around more or less where my entry was, a little bit below that. Obviously, if I would have got up here, it would have been an extra 100 points, but still locked in a clean 300 points from about 31,800 down to 31,500 approximately. But with that in mind, I'm going to now remove this smaller fib here, and then this larger one, which is measuring this overall larger movement. I'm going to now move this down because this has not yet touched the 38.2 at any point in time yet. So I'm going to further adjust this down. And this is really what we have as far as what the real move is. Just tanking. This last week alone, we're talking about really all the way up here, 34,000 at one point, all the way down to 31,000 and change, almost 3,000 points. The market has dropped. Dow Jones has dropped in the past week approximately. So, gonna repeat the same thing I've been saying, which is sells, looking for nothing but sells. No indication of anything related to a buy here. Are there short-term opportunities to scalp or very short-term intraday trades going the counter trend direction? Yes, you could. Of course, you could maybe get somewhere in here, bounce back up to here, but I'm not interested in doing that. I'm interested in catching good, clean moves that are in the overall direction of the overall bias, which is still definitely 100% bearish. And lock in something like this, absolutely beautiful, just locked in. I could have let it run. Granted, it would have came all the way back up almost to my entry, but then it would have continued running, would have turned into a 1 to 5. But that wasn't my intention there. So happy with my trade, satisfied. Don't want to get greedy and give back my gains for the day. So did good there, and now looking on to the next. So what am I expecting for the price to potentially do now over Asian and London session? I think during Asian and early London session, price is going to kind of just hang around in here, perhaps maybe come back up to retest this 23.6 fib along with this level of support and resistance here, this random line I drew out. With that, I think perhaps the hourly here, talking about the MA perhaps will be a little bit more in line with that, providing sort of a static resistance, along with also this trend line that I've laid out here that's had already one touch. I think it might come back up and potentially play around with that area there. In addition, let me see if there's any new zones that I can draw out based on previous structure here. So I got to zoom way further out, make the screen bigger, which if I do that while I'm recording, it messes everything up. But I'll take a look at that. But now that we're down in this area, something else I got to do is check if we're entering any type of a zone where there's a lot of a lot of contest as to what's going to happen next with price. But we do have this weekly support and resistance level, very strong level around 30,900 roughly. So that's, I think, definitely the next target in play. So what I'm really going to be looking for is for price to come back, retest perhaps this level. Let me drop down to the H1. Come back, retest this level, perhaps. If not, even come back and still retest maybe this level, in this zone somewhere here, and then stop. Going to be above that as we've been doing, 100 points above, and then targeting a 1 to 3 or more, at least a 1 to 2, but like to try at least target 1 to 3 That way, even if it doesn't reach my full take profit, then at least with my trailing stops, I'll be able to lock in some good profit, at least, maybe 100 points, if nothing else. So with that, I think that is what I'm going to be looking for now over the next few hours. We have left in the week 1 day, obviously tomorrow, Friday, and we have. Let me see how the weekly is looking. Actually, weekly is looking pretty strong, bearish. Obviously it's dropped all the way down, has pulled back a little bit, but I think this may very well possibly touch this low here by the end of the week. Maybe. Let's see how tomorrow plays out, where this weekly candle ends up as well, where this next daily candle ends up as well. The daily candle is closing kind of exhausted here. So, price, I think price will have to pull back and come back into at least probably about this area here, looking like to then continue a real good push to the downside. But let's see what happens here. Let's see how this plays out over the next few hours. And I will be back with you before New York session tomorrow morning. Have a good night.